Welcome back, everyone, to the HNW podcast. It's myself, Smokey Massacre, here. We got Snoz and Swan joining us today for a very special episode of the HNW podcast. This one's going to be a little weirder, but you gotta spice it up here and there. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Slight indigestion.
That's good.
But
well,
other than that, humors are balanced.
I've got some fake energy here that I'm going to try to open and hopefully get me through the rest of this podcast. So we are here. All three of us are pretty big fans of a specific trilogy and possibly the entire universe that surrounds it. But that would be the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Twilight.
And that's next episode.
Next episode, we'll talk about Twilight.
You're off by one episode.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Really close, yeah. I mean, vampires, werewolves, and jumping. It all goes together. So me and Snoz were... actually, Swan, you and I talked about how we should debate things like the Rings of Power and stuff like that on a podcast. But it's the HNW podcast, so I was thinking, how can we make the HNW podcast relevant to Lord of the Rings? And the idea that I came up with was we should give all of the jumpers their Lord of the Rings character comparison. So me and Snoz actually spent a good amount of time going through this list. I've got some that I think are pretty much locks and some that I think it could be debated on. So I think that'll be a fun thing to go through today. But before we get to that, Snoz, do you remember the first time you saw Lord of the Rings?
I do. And it's interesting because what I remember is because I was late to the game. In fact, I want to say you might have got me into the Lord of the Rings, and to a certain degree.
Whoa.
And I didn't even see the first two. I got into it late, so the only one I saw in the movie theater in real time was Return of the King. Like the other two, when I got into it, were already out of the theaters.
Did you got into it by Return of the King, or...
Well, I got into it before Return of the King came out, but it was after the first two movies had gone in the theater and left the theater.
Snoz, I have to tell you this.
So I only got to see Return of the King in the theater.
I was not hosting Halo Ninja Warrior in 2003, so...
Okay, well then you didn't get
A legend.
I was
But, yeah.
7 years old.
Your
when-
timeline's a little scrambled.
I was 7 or 8.
but by the time I got into it, the only one left to be put in the theater was Return of the King. So
Yeah.
I saw Return of the King in the theaters, but boy, do I wish I could have experienced all those in the theater when they first came out.
Yeah. Man, it's hard for me to remember. I remember Star Wars a little bit better in the theaters, but I do remember seeing... I know for a fact that I saw Return of the King multiple times in theaters. But I also remember being like a kid who was just like kind of goofing off and screwing around in the back and like wasn't really taking it that seriously. So I don't know when it went from me just like watching those movies in the theaters to me like really being passionate and loving Lord of the Rings. But Swan, what about you?
So I definitely never saw any of them in theaters. I didn't even see Star Wars in theaters. We were like super poor, so we would wait like a couple years later until it came out. So like you could like rent it from a kiosk.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the first time I ever watched Lord of the Rings. I just remember like ever since I was like a fucking small child. Like my dad, he was he was into Lord of the Rings, like, you know, back when he was like in high school. He would read the books and shit, right? Books and stuff. And just edit out that bad word.
No, we're far enough in.
So yeah, I just... Oh, we're already far enough in? Wow.
YouTube has this weird thing with the monetization where it's like, is there any like really bad profanity in the first like few minutes of the video? That's all they care about.
Oh. Well, so yeah, I definitely watched them just like from like being, you know, that era of your life before you can remember anything.
Yeah.
You know. So
I think the same.
I would.
Can you remember like the one or two most memorable things when you first ever saw them that made you just wow?
Dude, okay. I remember freaking
I have three. In
growing up in Green Mountain, North Carolina, like I was like a little tiny kid, and we were watching Lord of the Rings in the living room. It was Return of the King, and it got to the Shelob scene, dude.
Oh,
And like, just I remember I started freaking screaming, losing my mind, just going crazy, and then I had like nightmares for a week, and then for like the next 2 years, I could not even watch that scene, dude. Like every time I would watch the movie, I would just skip over it. Me and my little brother, we would just skip over it. We'd be like, nope, nope,
Right,
nope.
right. Like for me, the parts I remember the most, well, okay, so when I first saw Helm's Deep, that battle, it was one of the most
Oh
amazing
yeah, dude.
choreographed the whole thing, not just one little
Oh
part
yeah.
of Helm's Deep, just the whole fight from start
The
to finish was
whole,
one of the
yep,
most from when
absolutely.
Gandalf comes down the hill. It was one of the most amazing things I ever
I'd
saw.
say,
That and then, Return of the King, the horses coming to Minas Tirith to fight, with Theoden and all those horses. Those were two of the most iconic moments I can remember. But the one that stands out the most for me, for some reason, is I legitimately thought Gandalf was dead. And the beginning of the Two Towers, the way it started with Gandalf falling, fighting, was one of the most amazing things I ever saw. It was just
yeah.
just amazing. I'm like, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God, he's not dead. He's still in this movie. It was just, I was so fired up.
I think for me it was the scene where Darth Maul ignites the second lightsaber.
Hey, wait a
Wait a
minute.
minute.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No,
Oh,
yeah, I mean those movies. I've seen them so many times. I was saying earlier that I can't even remember the experiences that I had very much in terms of reacting to certain scenes. All that I know
I
is
think I know for you.
when I rewatch them, there are individual moments that I pick out that because they
I
hold up
think
so well.
for you, yeah.
You
I
don't
think
know.
I know what you're. I think the Boromir getting killed scene is probably way up there for you.
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. What the heck? Can you see Boromir?
I mean, for a movie
my
that
Boromir's
came
tiny.
out 20 years.
No,
For a
I think
movie that has
I don't
Sean
know,
Bean in
man.
it?
Like, I think well, it depends on what you're talking about because there's the scenes that I think are the most epic. There's the scenes that I think are like just the most well done. There's the ones that tear me up the most. There's no line that makes me cry like "You bow to no one."
Oh
That
yeah.
Oh
that
yeah, it's pretty epic.
destroys me every single
I
time.
think my very favorite like shot in like little sequence in the entire trilogy is kind of a weird random one,
I have one like that too.
and it's when Eowyn comes out of the Rohan castle or whatever, and she's like standing at the top of the steps. The flag blows away,
Oh
and
yeah.
then
I
that
know exactly. I know.
and
what
then
you're talking
that
about.
that fucking exquisite Rohan theme starts playing,
Yeah.
and just like, oh, I
My
love that theme, dude.
my super random sequence that I think is just so well done. The shots are so good and like the intensity is so amazing. Is when the hobbits are trying to get to Bree and it's nighttime, and they're like Buckleberry Ferry, follow me, and
Oh yeah.
then the
Night
Nazgul
Lord.
shows
Oh,
up,
God,
and like
the
there's that
Nazgul.
little chase scene with and like the three hobbits jumping over the fence, untying the ropes on the ferry, and then Frodo running and like jumping, and then
No.
the horse just like hitting the brakes and just sliding on the wood.
Or like when they're hiding behind the log of the tree and all the bugs are terrified by the Nazguls and are all
Yeah.
trying to get away too.
Dude,
Yeah, it's a pretty freaky
everything
scene, man.
everything with the Nazgul in Fellowship is just
It's
the intensity is
it's terrifying.
ridiculous.
They are so terrifying.
Like,
Yeah.
well, when they're chasing Erwin, right?
Arwen.
Arwen, that's like one of the most underrated scenes in the movie. That's an amazing moment in the movie, dude. When she's got Frodo and they are trying to get him and she's being chased by all of them. That's just such a great scene. But
Can I say, though?
we're digressing a little bit down there.
I will say though, I honestly think that one of the worst parts of the trilogy is Evangeline Lilly. I hate her.
You don't
In The
ever
Hobbit?
hate on anything. Don't
No,
hate on
in,
anything connected to Steven Tyler. Okay.
Oh,
Evangeline
Wait, that's
Lilly.
Liz Taylor. Wait,
Not
wait.
Evangeline Lilly.
Wait,
Freaking
Liz Tyler. You mean,
Liv
right?
Tyler.
Yeah, her.
I knew
Liv
that's
Tyler.
what you meant.
Dang.
Why did I
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I knew who you meant. But I thought
That's
she was
weird that
pretty
you
good
knew.
in the movie. I liked
Um,
her in the movie actually.
Yeah, I thought she did
I
really
don't,
well.
I don't like her. I don't like her at all.
I'm
Fair
all
enough.
for Arwen.
Maybe I'm just jealous because she gets Aragorn's pants, but
I think that's
She
probably
also
it.
gets to go home and listen to Aerosmith every night.
Well,
I hate Aerosmith.
it is perfect that Swan is here because for those of you who know, if you've been watching Halo Ninja Warrior for a while or any other jumping course, you know that Swantron 97 used to be Sauron Sucks. And that's how I knew we were in for something good from the get-go when you have Sauron in your gamertag.
Yeah, that's the only reason that Smokey let me compete in the Halo
that's
Ninja
the
Warrior
reason
trials.
that's the reason why I let you take as many attempts as you needed in the trials to get first place.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
No, that's not true. That's not true. He legitimate. I don't actually.
I'm contacting my lawyers.
I don't remember what my rules were for in terms of like practice. I don't know if you remember, but you did get. You legitimately got first place in the trials and you earned it.
Yeah, so
You and Pistol Plus failed the same thing.
We were allowed to practice as much as we wanted to beforehand. You just had it, you know, like a normal tournament. You just had it up on your thing. And I think we got attempt? 2 attempts.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 2 attempts because I think on my first attempt I failed like the hedgehog or something stupid like
weird
that.
Hedgehog thing I had, yeah. I think I still have a bunch of the tournament 17 qualifying footage.
Yeah, you sent me
yeah.
My run before.
I got Papa Freaking in there. I got Sauron in there. I got Pistol Plus, who Pistol Plus got second in that. But he failed the same rung as you. He just you failed the second rung at 41 seconds. He failed it at 110 seconds. So I'm not sure what he had going on. But one of my favorite little things I've ever done with my editing was throwing the IF Sauron up there the first time you cleared stage 1, and every time probably that you did it as Sauron Sucks. Once you went back to Swantron, or once you changed it to Swantron, couldn't do it anymore. It's really disappointing.
Well, dude, you know, this might sound weird. I had to change my gamer tag because you would think that it would be awesome having everybody refer to you as Sauron, but let me tell you, it gets old. It gets really old, especially when you have the British people calling you Sauron. You know, and it's just like this is too much.
But now you're Swan. Like everyone calls you Swan now. I mean, yeah. Is that? I mean, that is your last name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or, yeah.
And I was just used to being called that because
that makes sense. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like,
So.
Oh my god, this got really awkward all of a sudden.
Does it get old being called Smokey all day?
No.
You know? No?
I'm used to it.
I just couldn't get used to it.
I think I don't. So me and Snoz met up in real life, and in that case, I would not want to be referred to as Smokey. But when I'm online, yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
I think I called you Sam and Smokey.
You definitely. I mean, both of us had little slip-ups where we would try to just. We were both trying to just use our real names, but there was slip-ups.
Okay.
We were getting used to it though. That was the first time.
Here's the thing. Like with you, I would just probably call you by your name, but with Snoz, I don't know. Like he would just be Snoz to me because like that's not even his gamer tag. That's just like his nickname, you know? That's just his nickname. That's just what we call him.
I'd correct that shit.
And then I'd start calling you Snozberries.
Well, speaking of jumpers, so we have a lot of really good jumpers in the Halo jumping community. So there's probably going to be some ones that we left out of this list. But it's time to get into it.
It doesn't mean we can't incorporate them. It just depends on.
If your name is not included, you are either an orc or a elf that died at Helm's Deep. So.
Yep.
Okay, I really don't know where to start here. I think we should start by just going over the three of us, and then we can get into some other ones. So, me and Swan have had a little bit of debate on this. I say Snoz is Gandalf. Purely, you know, age might be a factor there, and you know he's the old wise jumper.
I don't know. He just gives me Bombadil vibes. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll be honest. So I've read The Fellowship of the Ring once, and it was a very long time ago. So I don't really remember too much about Tom Bombadil, but I feel like Tom Bombadil is almost a little too. He's too
insignificant.
Mysterious. No, well, maybe. I mean, depends on how you
in
look
the
at
movie.
Yeah, you could go with that, but I think he's just too mysterious. Snoz isn't that mysterious.
Yeah, Snoz, you're not mysterious?
Snoz is there every step of the way, like Gandalf is. He vanishes sometimes at bad moments, but you know, for the most part, he's there for his hobbits. He's not. the real question is, what is the equivalent of the ring in Halo jumping?
Oh.
Something
I
that doesn't
mean,
affect
is it
Snoz,
A Discord moderator role?
but yeah. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no.
No,
No,
I
Chumpy
think
Yeah,
a dis. I think
when they have it too long, they turn into Spiegel.
yeah.
Oh,
I think
God.
the Discord thing that's probably more like the Jedi Council. It's like Anakin and Chumpy's like Anakin. Like
Oh, no.
put me on the
You are a
council but not
moderator,
make me a
but you were
master.
You are a moderator, but you were not granted the position of master.
Yeah.
You
Man,
cannot ban people.
We really could do a whole one of these for Star Wars, too, and it'd be just as good. But let's get into... All right, so I think... So, Swan, since you were Sauron, I mean, you have to be Sauron. And,
I'm
and you
okay
talk
with
shit
being-
about so many people that, like, you know, Sauron's probably over there in his fucking tower being like, oh, fuck that Aragorn, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm
I
okay
mean,
with
kind
being
of,
jumping
yeah.
supervillain. All right, like I'm not stressed about that. I'm completely fine with being the Dark Lord of Halo jumping. I just ask that everybody respect my position and stay the hell off my lawn.
You have a pretty big lawn, so...
Yeah,
You
we'll
really
stay the
do.
fuck off it.
All
Only
right.
me and my orcs.
So me and Snoz, when we were going through it, we put me as Theoden.
I could see that. I could see Theoden. All right, I'll accept Theoden. I will
Okay.
accept Theoden.
Now here's the tough part. It's hard to know how we should go through this because there's obviously the Fellowship, which right now Snoz is the only Fellowship member. But then do we want to do this list in order by jumpers or by characters? I just don't know. I don't know.
I think we should go
I
by
think we
characters
do by
to kind of keep it more
characters, yeah.
contained. Yeah.
Okay, well
I
then
agree.
let's just start with the Fellowship then. Let's just get right into it. We'll start with one of my favorites, and I know me and Snow talked about this, and I know you two talked offline about it a little bit too. So I don't know what else Swan has heard, but one of my favorites is Merry and Pippin as Chumpy and Strafe.
You know, I think I've come around on that one a little bit. Me and Snoz, we intensely debated the Hobbits. But you know,
But that wasn't the one you seemed to
I-
warm up to that one.
Yeah.
That wasn't the one you disagreed with.
yeah,
The
I
Frodo's
think,
the one
I
you're
think,
not sure with.
I think Chumpy and Strafe is Merry and Pippin. I think I can get with that one.
I think it's just funny because you know they have so much history with like
They bicker.
crapping on each other. Yeah,
It's
they
just
bicker like
it's
crazy,
perfect.
and they've hated each other so much. Probably hated each other more than Merry and Pippin ever did. But I think, in a way, it just reflects. You
But
know,
Chumpy and Strafe are also remarkably similar, but they
Yeah.
hate that. You know?
yeah, exactly. So then the other two hobbits, Samwise is actually a really tough one. Really, really tough.
There's a couple choices you
There's
could
some
have, but
contenders. The last one we put on there, and again, I have some of them bolded, some of them are not bold. If they're not bold, that means I wasn't like super confident in it. And this one is not bold, and that would be Gotenks as Samwise.
So, okay, me and Snoz, we really went at it about Sam, because you know, Sam's position in the story, he's like the faithful companion.
He is.
And so when you're casting that one, you're gonna pick someone who you see as a good friend. I don't really know Gotenks, so I couldn't really see him as a Sam, you know. So there's a little bit of ambiguity there for me. So you guys are super tight with Gotenks. So like for you guys, you're like, yeah, slam dunk, he's Samwise Gamgee. But for me, I don't know, I don't even know exactly who I'd do. I don't know.
He's really tough.
Am I
on the-
friends with anyone in this
'cause
community?
it can't be. He's got to have like sidekick energy, but also
Oh,
like-
Gotenks has sidekick energy.
like.
Get
But
fucked
I
by-
think,
but also
I think,
badass
I
on
guess
his own.
Yeah, and I think the key for Gotenks is with Sam, the word loyalty comes up to me,
And also just overall,
and, I feel like
personality
I
too.
mean I have no proof of it, but I feel like Gotenks is loyal to the people he likes,
And Sam is a very
and plus I couldn't
Nice.
think of anyone better.
Sam
Which
is
doesn't
Sam is nice and friendly. He's also on the screen right now if you can see him right there. Oh shit. Y'all didn't see that. Yeah, Sam.
Did he pull his dick out or something?
I wish. So Sam, I have his Gotenks, but it's also kind of important. There's so many different ways that we can lump people into
Well,
a
that's-
character, and
right,
one
'cause
of them
we,
is the character relationships. So Samwise should obviously be someone who's very loyal to, or very close with Frodo. But the Frodo that we picked wouldn't really help itself for Gotenks being Sam. But I do like the Frodo that we picked. I know Swan has. I've heard he had different feelings about Frodo, but we have
Who's
Frodo.
Frodo?
We had Frodo as Irish.
Okay.
The only reason I could see someone maybe not agreeing with that is because Irish and I know hobbits are just little people, but in my mind when I think of the hobbits and those guys, I feel like they're the younger guys, not the older guys, and Irish appears to be one of the older guys in the community, so I could see where that maybe.
My thing
Not
is,
to mention Irish is
main
like
character
6'5", and
What if we
hobbits
switch
are really
'em?
short.
main character vibes.
What about
That
what
was the
about-
other thing I told Smokey is I thought Irish and Gotenks were almost interchangeable.
Yeah, I think I would like Gotenks better as Frodo and then Irish as Sam. Because Irish very much has that like
Big
that
brother.
that G Wiz energy, That
There's one thing. I have seen Irish can get flustered and pushed into a little bit of an anger situation. I think more so than Gotenks, and I think that lends itself more to Frodo.
For sure.
Hmm.
That's true.
I don't know. Sam was popping off in Return of the King.
He was just stabbing orcs. I feel like Gotenks could have
Get
a little.
off him, you filth!
I feel like Gotenks could easily be someone who just starts. He turns it on and he says, "You know what? I'm just gonna go stabbing Shelob and killing orcs in Mordor."
I mean, I truly
And I feel like
Gotenks is such a perfect Sam.
And then he would also get
see-
the ring and like
But I
have a little
can't.
bit more willpower to not give it up.
Yeah,
Or
and
to
as
give
much
it a-
as I say, I think Gotenks is a perfect Sam, and I do like Irish's Frodo. I don't think Irish is as perfect a Frodo as Gotenks is a Sam. I just can't
So-
think of someone better for Frodo.
When it comes to the hobbits, so here's I don't know, part of me kind of can't let go of what my initial thought was for the hobbits, because I was thinking the first thing that popped in my head was there's 4 hobbits and then there's 4 people who host the minor courses. So I immediately my brain my brain immediately went to putting them in as the hobbits. So you have like Chumpy as Sam, which I only think so because Chumpy's my bud, and then you can have Irish as Frodo, and then you have Flame as Mary, and then Sonic as Pippin.
I think. Well, my thing with Chumpy
We
is
were
Sam.
trying to
I
go
don't.
more by
Chumpy is way
personality
too
than-
silly to be Sam. He's too much of a goofball to
I
be
don't know.
Sam.
He is a goofball. I'll give you that.
I think we were doing it more. I mean, that's an interesting way of doing it, which we didn't. We were trying to do. I don't know if we want to say we just did it by personality, but we tried to, I think, match personalities a little bit
Well,
instead of
you know,
just their
let's
role in the community.
Let's
if you
keep
will.
moving through some more names here, so that way we can kind of get.
Because yeah,
more
we
of a
might
playing
end up
field.
saying no. This guy should be here. This guy, yeah.
There-
we could
there's a
definitely
lot of that.
figure it out, but
So let's go through the rest of the fellowship. This one I love. Z Master as Legolas.
Yeah, I think that one's perfect.
and when I used the word Legolas, he instantly said
Legolas.
Z Master when we were talking. So
Yeah,
he's on board.
I think that one's
Z-Master's
that one's a
perfect for that.
deadlock.
Just mellow, but could say something that people will listen to, and he's just good at everything he does.
Give that
Yeah.
one bold, italics, and underline.
Yeah. I would almost feel the same way about this next one. Double Ump as Boromir.
That is absolutely perfect.
I'll
'cause
accept that strictly because that means dies in the first movie.
that's well, I mean, if you want to think about it, though, Ump gets along with all the youth in the jumping community for the most part, but he can, he can be swayed a little bit now and then, like Boromir. But at the end of the day, he's good.
I only wish.
I think it's perfect.
I only wish that I was Aragorn so that Ump would be like, "Swan, you're the best," right before I die, and then I could be like, "Yeah, I am, bitch," and I fucking die.
Jesus.
I'm starting to stray back into the potty mouth. Let me rein that in a little bit.
I just think the overall characteristics kind of match up pretty well.
I think so. I think he's a good Boromir.
True. Yeah, he is a good Boromir, but I will say, I'm Sauron. Me and co-host a course.
Dude, I feel I mean,
we still need
for all
to
you know,
die.
Boromir was actually trying to like go give the ring to Sauron, and maybe that was going to be the
it's
prize
possible.
for
Get that
Aborigine warrior.
headcanon. Get that headcanon out of here.
No, dude, they were trying to host their own course together. Mordor warrior.
Mordor warrior.
If you can make
That's
that
gonna be
course.
out
no.
next
Someone wants to forge that.
That's
Please.
coming out now.
Yeah, let's please get a Mordor warrior. That sounds dope.
You do jumping, you gotta dodge lava and fire.
Yeah, the whole goal is every single competitor steps up to the start line and they are a ring bearer, and they gotta.
The final stage.
The final
is just to
stage
climb the
is getting the ring into the mountain. Yeah.
The first obstacle is the quintuple steps, and it's like Uruk-hai shields that are shoved into the dirt.
That'd be cool.
We need to stop talking about this because we're getting
We're
ideas.
gonna quit the podcast and go
all right,
forge.
we're deleting this part so that we can actually do it without anyone copying our idea. Gimli as weapon mat.
Copyright.
Weapon mat.
I
As
mean,
Gimli?
they have a lot of
The
strong-
only thing
He's not enough. He's
I
not
think-
grumbly enough.
I wasn't gonna say that.
is a hard one to
Gimli
pick.
also has a sense of humor, and I don't know how much of a sense of humor Matt has.
Damn. Dang.
No, he's funny, but he's not one of the jokier guys in the group. I didn't mean it like he doesn't have a sense of humor, but you admit he's not. Like, when I think back on it, I like where Chumpy is, but Chumpy could be a Gimli.
Chumpy could be a
right?
Gimli, yeah, for sure.
Is there anybody that
And we
that
could
Z
put
Master-
Flame in the Merry and Pippin. Flame and Strafe could be Merry and Pippin. We could make Chumpy Gimli. I don't know.
Is there anybody that Z Master kind of gets along with? Maybe Gimli's like
Weapon mat.
Oh really? Are they buds?
Well, weapon mat drafted him.
No, me and Z play with Weapon Mat Apex a lot.
Okay, so I can accept that.
No,
or
I'm
it could
saying
be another
he's
Brit.
it's just when you talk to Matt, he's more on the serious side of things than the jokey
God.
side of things. That's all I meant by that.
I have no idea where you possibly could have put Hunter.
Oh no, Hunters is
got
perfect. Hunters is absolutely perfect.
Hunters is
All right,
actually
all right.
perfect.
Yeah,
All right,
I think.
I'll trust you on that one.
All right,
I'll accept.
Hunters
I'll accept
is one
Matt
that
as
I'm
the
gonna
one.
bold, italicize, underline.
I believe I said
We'll get
that
there
one
soon.
too.
We'll get there soon. So we got one
I
last
picked that.
fellowship member, and I think this one's pretty solid. Fireball is Aragorn.
I wanted to be Aragorn. Can I be both Sauron
You
and
can't
Aragorn?
choose your name of evil and then try and be the hero of the thing. I mean,
Hey, do
You
you
did this
ever
to
see
yourself.
them on screen together?
that. Oh, they're
You
one and
almost
the same.
did in the
Wow.
original cut of Return of the King. Luckily, they scrapped that.
Yeah, well, we didn't. So
Okay. We gotta start picking up the pace here a little bit. We're gonna get into some ones. These ones are a little bit more up for debate, I think. We had Grima Wormtongue as Joey.
oh, that's terrible.
And so it's a
So
weird,
mean.
so the trio you got to look at there is Grima, Theoden, and Saruman, because obviously there's a bit of a thing going on there. So I'm Theoden. If Joey is Grima, we had Saruman as Flame.
Oh, I
But I
thought
feel
we
like
changed it.
I feel like we could do. I think
someone else.
Flame could be. Flame could
Flame
almost be
could
like
be
Who
Merry
did
and
I say
Pippin,
for-
and we could move Chumpy to Gimli.
Snoz, who did I say?
Because I
for
kind of
Flame's not
thought
Saruman.
Saruman was gonna be Puma.
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. Puma is Saruman.
Oh no, we have another Puma. I just think Flame is a little bit too. I don't think he's like he's a lot more.
He's not bubbly enough to
Yeah.
be one of the.
He's
yeah,
not bu-
I
he's
agree
not a-
with that.
yeah.
I think Chumpy and Strafe's perfect for that. Actually,
So
could he be? Well, then who's Gimli?
I mean, right now it's a weapon map, but
I mean, should it be Flame?
even then, as you said, Gimli's got that kind of fun sense of humor.
Yeah, and neither of them really fit that. Not that they're not fun; they just don't.
You gotta
No,
find
you
someone
know,
who's a
there's
little bit
certain
more.
people that are more jokey than others. You know.
I'm enjoying this so much.
You're such a dork.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Who do you think would fit it? Swan?
Who's Saruman or
Yeah.
Gimli? For Saruman, I do still really like Puma as Saruman.
We did have Puma as
Yeah.
Saruman at some point, but I have another Puma that I want to run by you first. And we'll just do it
Oh,
now.
I know what
Puma
it is. Isn't it
as-
Spiegel.
No, Puma as Denethor. Actually, Flame could be Denethor.
Oh wait, does that mean Puma kills Hump?
I think Puma as Saruman and Flame as Denethor might make more sense. I mean, think about it. His name is Flame. That's how he fucking dies.
Oh,
And I'm not gonna lie, like,
The
Fla-
roasts are strong in this
We had Flame
podcast.
as the dragon that fought Gandalf, I think.
No,
the Balrog.
No.
At one point, yeah, we
Well,
had him
maybe
as
at
the
one point.
Balrog at one point.
but
But
no, think about it.
Puma almost makes sense.
Think about it.
Because
Puma-
Saruman's
yeah.
got a good side and a bad side, and I mean, let's be fair, Puma has a good side and kind of a bad side.
And then I think
We all
Flame.
do
I think
that.
Flame as Denethor is so good because Denethor is kind of like he's kind of down a lot, you know. He's a little unhappy most of the
A
time.
little unhinged.
A little unhinged, and he goes up in flames. Like
Oh, that's a kid I see.
he dies on fire.
And you know what? By God, Puma has supervillain energy. So
Yeah. Okay, so Saruman is Puma. I could see Joey wanting to stab Puma in the back.
That means your right-hand guy is Puma. Okay.
Mine?
Swans.
Oh.
bro,
Hey, Sauron.
there is no telling the amount of damage that Puma could unleash upon the jumping community.
Yeah.
As long as he is harnessed correctly.
Especially when he's teamed up with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Me and Puma
yes,
could
yes,
burn this
sir.
community.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
let's get this one out of the way real quick. We've mentioned Smeagol a couple times. We have Smeagol as Demi.
You see,
You don't
Smeagol
know
is one
Demi
that
very
you could really. Yeah, I don't know Demi too well.
I
but
mean,
you
if we
could
wanted to
really,
keep-
you could get some potent roasts out of Smeagol.
You could.
Like,
I think
You
Demi is a
could,
perfect candidate.
you could, and I mean, but the only problem with Demi being the perfect candidate, if we were being real, it would need to be someone who is a good person and also can be a fucking dick,
Oh, Demi. Okay.
right? And Demi doesn't really treat people bad ever.
what about Phil?
If the only thing we could say for
I don't
Demi
know
would.
if Phil has enough good to be.
Oh, we have Phil as Isildur.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got Phil. We got
Okay.
Phil already in there.
Um,
All three of us just said that was great. So I think, I mean, Demi's Smeagol characteristics definitely come to light in HBL. That's for
HBL.
sure. But let's go through some. I want to finish off the ones that I have that I left in bold as locks. Even though some of them I'm not sure how much I agree with them. We had Chris as the Witch King.
all right.
Flying around as Wasp, flying around on his on his fell beast.
Yeah.
I guess it could work out. Patty Freakin as Bilbo. I love that one.
That was me.
That was you.
All right.
This one
that's
This one might have been you too, and I think this one is fantastic. Is Sane the Legend as Treebeard.
Oh yeah.
yes. Bold underlined italic, dude.
Yeah. All right, and I hope you're ready for this one. Let's get to Hunter. Hunter Unit 751. I think this one just
I said this one
is
too.
so perfect. Yeah, you did. This is Snoz's guess, and I couldn't agree more. Hunter as
Glad you
Elrond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that one.
I think Hunter makes a really good Elrond. I have Rog as Galadriel.
You know, I actually had what I think is a better one for Rog.
What's that?
I don't know if we're doing Hobbit characters, but Radagast.
He could be a Radagast type, yeah. if we were including that, I mean, I'm not too opposed to including that character.
I mean,
It's
we're not
fine.
going to go and
We
do
need-
all the fucking million dwarves in the Hobbit, but
Yeah.
I think Rog, you know.
I think
you know,
Rog.
he's a
I
cool
also
self.
think, actually, in my opinion, I think Rog is a good Gimli candidate.
Oh,
Actually,
you know, yeah,
you're
he
not
kinda
wrong
is.
at all
Yeah.
about that.
Rog's
He
got a
just-
sense of humor. but he's also grumpy as hell.
Yeah, he can be grumpy but funny and a little like yeah. All right.
And
Whoa, what was that last one there?
Just a
What was
little
that last one there?
what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
So, all right, I'm gonna put I'm putting Rog as Gimli then. So that means
That's actually a
weapon
good
match
call,
back.
Swan.
Weapon match back on the board then. He needs a home.
He can be Galadriel.
Weapon match Galadriel. Maybe he could be Celeborn. Let's see. We had a vows.
He wasn't in the movies.
Who kills Ump
Celeborn.
again?
He's in the movie.
Lurtz.
Lurch does.
We
too.
have a Lurch, don't we?
Oh,
I thought that was Phil.
No, Phil is his heel.
I thought Phil killed Ump.
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in your dream. Yeah, Phil got the ring and had a chance to save the Halo jumping community forever, but he kept it for himself.
That's perfect, actually.
And then he started competing in Mordor Warrior.
Yeah.
I gave him, I promised him a grand championship, and he cast the jumping community into the fire instead of the ring. Or the Discord moderator position.
Dude, Puma's gonna write like a whole new Jump series because of this.
If he watches it.
The Chronicles.
Eomer is Soul?
That's true.
Soul Reaper isn't Eomer?
Get fucked, Soul Reaper.
What? Eomer?
I mean, she's pretty fucking badass when you think about it.
What? She?
Not till the third movie.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
She?
that's fair.
Eomer.
Oh,
Carl Urban.
Oh,
I thought you said
misheard.
AON.
That's what I thought he said too.
Mr. I throw a spear into the guy driving this fucking elephant and it takes out 2 of them. Oliphant.
That's the
Yeah, he is a badass.
That's the marshal of.
He's the badass, but he's like he's not like one
the
of the
smartest guy at the same point. Yeah.
What?
I really wish
What?
that.
That's not what I was
that-
gonna say at all. Not the
I wish
smartest
that
guy.
we could include guys that
That's
weren't around
the way I
anymore.
perceive it.
If we could include guys that weren't around anymore, Eomer, I would put him. You remember AOC scope sighted?
Oh yeah, he wasn't.
And me and Ump have always had a joke that he was, for some reason in Aborigines, Ump one time said, "I bet this guy rides horses," and it became a whole thing.
Oh my
So, so that's the only reason why that popped into my head.
We were looking for someone to put a vows, and I put him next to Eowyn. I'm not sure. I don't think there's much of a comparison there.
I mean,
I think Walnut as Faramir is fair. Amir.
What about a vows as?
oh, that's right. Who's the king of Minas Tirith? What's his name again?
Denethor.
Denethor.
Yeah, that's who we had Puma as. That's
Yeah. Now that's Flame.
okay. That'll work.
Puma is
Flame tries,
Puma is Sauron.
Flame tries
That's
to kill
perfect.
his son, burn
What
his son to
about
death.
what about Matt as
fine.
Faramir?
Matt as Faramir. He's Ump's brother. I could see that. He needs the spot now anyway. So
Little Phil.
That's true.
yeah, I like Matt as Faramir.
Let's see here. Avowals. What was the name of that orc who was leading the invasion of Minas Tirith? The lumpy
Gothmog?
face guy.
Oh, the
Gothmog,
one.
yeah. Avowals is Gothmog.
That was Gotham. Dang, how do you get that? I think.
I don't know.
Well, we need.
That's what came to my mind.
This is where it gets really tough. I mean, there's so many characters, and so let's go through some of the.
Big...
Let's retouch a lot of these to just say that we're good with it. So, are we leaving Frodo as Irish for now?
Yeah, we can go with Irish as Frodo.
Snoz is Gandalf. Snoz is kind of leading Irish, around giving him advice here and there, complaining about his obstacles. Merry and Pippin. Strafe. I have Strafe as Pippin and Merry as Chumpy, purely based on.
That makes sense to me.
I think Strafe is a little more
Because
out there.
Mary's gonna guide them around a little more. I think
Yeah.
Mary's. Yeah, I agree with that.
Legolas is Z. Boromir is Ump. Gimli is Rog. Aragorn is Fireball.
I do like Gimli as Rock.
Gimli as Rock is
that
really
was a good
good.
call. That was a good call by you.
Yeah, I think I can't think of another. I can't think of a better option for Gotenks than Samwise, or a better Samwise than Gotenks. It's not. It doesn't feel like the perfect fit, but I just can't think of any other options.
By default.
Yeah, he Gotenks defaulted to Samwise. So that's the Fellowship. Sauron as Swan, Saruman as Puma, Grima as Joey.
Who do we have as?
The
Who do
Witch
we have
King is
Smeagol again?
Smeagol is Demi.
Can I also nominate Caden Bogard?
Oh God. No. That's rude.
For me now.
Me is Theoden. Eomer is Sol. I mean, I can't think of another Eomer. Sol needs to be on this list for sure.
See, that's what we should do now. Is there a jumper we're forgetting? I don't think so. I mean, do we try and find a way to incorporate mod MMO in this?
He's too new.
Oh yeah.
Mod is like
he's
Well,
new.
but if he's new, let's think about what could we
he's like one of
he
those.
can be.
He's
He
one of
can
those
be one of my
elves.
mad school.
like he could be the bartender in fucking when
Oh,
when he
Barlam and
pretends to
Butterbur should be a
Underhill.
character.
Hello, little masters.
But he should
When
be
he
a character.
pretends
But
to
there's
be Underhill.
no you as Barlam and Butterbur. It can't be. It can't be MMO. This
Oh wait,
this
the
guy's.
is there? Do we know the name of the farmer who chases him out of the crops?
Farmer Maggot.
Yeah, but you're talking about older people who are like these are like those people need to be the
Okay,
jumpers
okay.
who have retired. Like Drago would be like Barlam and
Oh,
Butterbur.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
And then maybe like
okay.
I don't know who else. Ree could be the farmer maggot.
Farmer maggot.
I think
All
MMO would
this
have to
are
be
not appearing in this film.
MMO would have to be someone like
One of my Nazgûl.
Someone as neutral as it gets, right?
you don't know that yet. We don't know him. He's
He could be Aragon's force.
Dude, for all we
just
know, MMO is like a 100% psychopath.
he
He's
could
just
be
hiding it
he
right
could
now.
be Morgoth for all we know.
Dude, holy shit.
We just gotta
That's
wait and
getting
find out.
deep, bro.
No, I like that
nominate
list.
Drago as Ancalagon.
There's some ones I really love. I love Hunter as Elrond. I love Sane as Treebeard.
Sandage Treebeard is perfect.
I really like Patty as Bilbo.
I think Sandage
I think-
Treebeard is the best one.
I think Petrillo
Just
could be a
the
good
old
Sam, actually.
knowledge.
Petrillo could be a good Sam. Didn't I say Petrillo is
Wait a minute, where is Petrillo?
Not on Xbox.
Because I remember Petrillo could have been, and Petrillo and Gotenks could be like interchangeable characters to me, if that makes sense. Like I could see both of them being Sam. I could see both of them being Frodo, actually, because they both have a good heart, right?
Oh,
So I don't know,
that's
but
so
we gotta
sweet.
if we don't have Pager slotted in, we gotta figure Pager
You know
out
what?
ASAP.
On that good-hearted note, Snoz, I say Frodo is whoever's watching this video right now.
Jeez.
Oh, Christ.
I think so. I had Arwen as Killer the Man. Killer needs to be on this list for sure.
Fucking.
I just don't think Arwen's the best option for that. I just started putting
No,
people
I'm just
down.
trying to think if there's someone we're missing.
I mean,
Unfortunate.
we got the one person who's actually from New Zealand should probably be
on
like,
the list. Yeah,
a big person.
Maybe.
On this list.
Yeah, really. I
Again,
just don't know where to
anyone
put
we
him.
can't figure out, just throw him as one of my Nazgûl for a little while.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the other thing. Can we just make the evil 8 right now?
The Evil Eight.
Evil 8.
Wasn't it 8 horsemen, or is it 8 or 9?
9.
The 9.
9. Do we have 9 people you can slot in?
Well, one of them is Chris as the Witch King.
Yeah, he should be the Witch King.
Caden Bogard,
if it's not, if that,
Cyrus.
yeah, because isn't he in the? Wait, isn't he the? He's he the king in the mountain that Aragon goes to?
No, that's not the Witch King.
That's who I thought. That's who I thought you had Chris as. Is
No.
the king of the dead.
No, Chris is the guy who.
Oh, that guy.
Chris is the guy who gets stabbed by Arwen, saying, "I am no man."
Okay, no, that's good too. That's good.
So Killer Demand
'Cause he's
stabs
he's
Chris.
an
Killer,
evil
Killer
bad.
stabs
no
Chris. I am no man. Oh man, who would stab Chris in the face and say, "I am no man"?
Beth.
Well, his girlfriend.
Well, if it's no man, we gotta. I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Okay, well, I think I do like Petrillo.
Someone's
as,
getting emasculated here.
Who would go if Petrillo is Sam? Who would Gotenks be? Because I do feel like Gotenks should probably be someone who's a little older.
Well, then Sam. I mean, then I almost think Gotenks. But it's Rog. I mean, I could see Gotenks as Gimli.
Nah, Rog is way more of a Gimli than Gotenks is.
Yeah.
Well, where do we put Gotenks? now?
What about Gotenks as Aomer, and then we gotta put Soul somewhere else?
All right.
All right.
Gotenks is older
Get
than me,
bumped,
but
Soul.
you know, we could be like
Uh,
that uncle nephew style.
Soul can be.
I think Soul could be Arwen and stab Chris in the face.
Oh no.
That'd be beautiful.
Man, it really comes down to it right now. Killer is the biggest one for me. I think it's Lord of the Rings characters at this point that I got to think more about. Right now we have.
And that's
we
the
need a
thing. I'm
Galadriel.
trying to think.
I think
Did we? Is there?
we need a Galadriel. Who's
Yeah, because I'm trying
very
to think of the
calm and
characters
wise.
we're missing out on
Gotenks.
Gotenks?
Gotenks is very calm.
Gotenks could be a Galadriel, but it
Gotenks
needs
is
to be someone
Galadriel.
who
Make it
is a
happen.
little bit more. More. What's the word I'm looking for?
So
Assertive.
who's Theoden's right-hand man again?
Aomer, which right now is
And-
would be Gotenks. So me
Okay,
and
that
Gotenks.
actually is real. I think that's. Yeah, so he's aligned with Theoden, which is you. That actually makes a lot of sense.
So
I like for him
Soul should be
because he's definitely a good dude. He's a badass. He's loyal to, in this case, Smokey, which actually makes sense. That's
Until
actually
Smokey
a good
goes
one.
evil.
Well, yeah.
I do get really old and ratchety thanks to Puma,
But I bring you back,
and then
baby. Don't worry.
Snoz takes me out of it. That's
got
actually
you.
definitely something that would really happen.
Yeah, you.
And then we
you
banish
go to the dark
Gotenks.
side when you get drunk and compete on Aborigines.
Oh god.
To be fair, to keep it real, Swan, if your name wasn't Sauron, you're just like Ump. You would make a perfect Boromir too.
Why? I don't want to die. I want to be
Because
Aragorn,
he's
damn it.
got that side of him that's kind of got a little bit of darkness to him, but at the end of the day, you can tell he's a good person who has a good heart and means well. But
Are you saying
he's not
that
polished?
I have evil inside of me, Snow?
yeah, but I also see the good in you too, just like Boromir.
Well,
Okay, so
one of those is inaccurate.
we're closing in on 50 minutes into this podcast right now, so we got to start wrapping it up.
Jesus.
But I think here's my last thoughts. We have some that are deadlocks. We have some jumpers. We have more jumpers than characters, I think, that we want to incorporate into this. So my recommendation is for you watching to leave your list in the comments below. Come up with some other character
Yeah, I'd
comparisons
be
that you
curious
think
what
could work.
people think.
We have a lot that we really like right now, but this conversation, there's no end to it, right? Because there's always going to be more jumpers that we could think of and consider them for a different character. I do think we are getting to the point now where we have enough people that we could include Hobbit characters, like at least
No, but
like
I
some of the
think
main characters, like a Thorin or.
I think what you said's a good idea, though. I think everyone watching this, give us your list of the I can't even think of the name now. The
Nazgul.
the group, the original,
The Fellowship.
Fellowship.
the Fellowship. Give us your guys' choices for what you think the Fellowship should be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll be all over the place. But I'd
also-
be curious.
With our current selections, tell us in the comments who you think would actually win. Because I think that my guys would kind of smoke you guys.
You mean good versus evil as far as jumping?
Yep. You know,
don't
like,
know about that.
like, bro, me and Puma alone, like, you're done.
Bro,
Yeah.
you've got.
Well, we got Me and
Oh,
Fireball.
you also got Joey.
And I got Chris.
Joey's.
Well, do you have Joey? Because he killed Sauron. So maybe
Joey's
you don't have
conflicted.
Joey. Yeah, Joey's like could be on either team. We just don't know.
Also,
Yeah, well, we can just
before
fire
I end this, I
Joey.
gotta. I've been holding this sword the whole time. I do also have this guy, so you know, I could also be Frodo, or Bilbo, I guess.
No, I think Patty's the best.
Patty's a really good Bilbo.
The elder
But yeah,
statesman.
I think
he's been around.
We
seen
might
it all.
we might have to come back to this at a future time to discuss a little bit more. If we have any other ideas, but I think we made a lot of really good progress on this list today. We got to do a Star Wars one eventually at some point because I think this was fun, and there's a lot of
Definitely
good Star Wars
one.
comparisons that we can make too. But on
It's
that
gonna
note,
be Darth Vader.
let's just think real quick. What we got going on right now? So, Swan, here's your chance to do a little self-promotion.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's my gamer tag. My course, Aborigines 27, is premiering today. So when you watch this, it's probably already going to be out. So go watch it and leave a comment. Tell me that you love me.
There you go. Boom. Too easy. Snoz, you got nothing to promote, so I'm not even going to bother with you. But
I have nothing to promote.
Promote something, Snoz.
yeah, give us
Talk about Lucky Charms. Promote Lucky Charms.
Don't got anything. So.
Dang.
Give us a BioxyClean, something. Come on, man. This is your moment.
I will say this: by the time
Alright,
you're watching this,
everyone play billiards.
okay,
Pool
nice.
should be brought back.
Brought back is still a thing. I will say Tournament 27 is ongoing for Halo Ninja Warrior right now, so if you want to compete, you got until September 17th to do your run, so please do your run. I would love to see as many competitors out there as possible until we get up to 100 and then go somewhere else. And then Tournament 26, the finale, is like literally this close to being done, so I just got to make those few final touches and export it, and then you'll be seeing the
Yeah,
Tournament
he did
26
this
finale.
instead of editing.
Yeah, I did.
He did
I
this
could have.
instead of
I could have
editing
finished
26, so
the amount of time it took for us
you're
to
welcome.
record this podcast. It could have been the finale being finished, but I chose Lord of the Rings over 26.
Understandable.
But Snoz Swan, thanks for joining in for this Lord of the Rings discussion. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
And
Star Wars will be tougher, I think.
it will be.
I think Star Wars would be easier, actually.
Oh, it depends. We'll get to that another time. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and remember to leave your Lord of the Rings character comparison chart down below in the comments. And we'll see you next time on the HNW podcast.